Hello my fellow gamers and welcome once again to Perafilozof SimCity Let's Plays. Today I'm going to start up my tourism city. I have chosen this plot down here to be my tourist city, and now I'm going to make the road network and plop all the transportation hubs that I need for this tourism city. I'm going to use 3 landmarks. Each one is going to be of high tourist attraction. I'm going to use both the Expo Center and the Pro Stadium, but the Pro Stadium will be turned on much later on because the Expo Center can handle about 3,000 tourists, while the Pro Stadium needs around 15,000 to be at full capacity, and that comes on much later. As for the attractions, I will use all 5 of them. I have tested them out. They don't seem to bring in a whole lot of tourists, but they're kind of a nice addition. I have sent myself a lot of money and also some garbage and recycling trucks. I'm going to use the taxes at 12, 11, 9, but the commercial taxes are gonna go down for the simple reason of there not being any industry here, and if there's gonna be any freight coming in here, it's gonna be imported from the other cities, but because there won't be enough freight, I have to lower the taxes for the commercial in advance. Now let's pause the game and see how exactly am I going to make this network. I have tested out 2 designs. Well, it was actually one and the same design, an alpha and beta of it. The beta was quite successful, but I still saw some things that could be changed for the actual design in this normal region. So I have learned a lot from the 2 cities I made in this sandbox mode. For example, I saw that having these 2 train stations here and having tourist attractions over here led all those tourists to walk through my street network down here, where I had all the attractions, stadiums and the expo center. Now I want to avoid them having to walk that distance, so I'm going to move all my attractions from the middle of the map up here to this corner. Also, most of the tourists that were coming by cars were coming from the left side and from the upper side. Only a few of them were coming from the right side. I'm not going to use the high density streetcar avenues because I saw that the streetcars were not very used. Maybe if the city was high density, then they would be much more useful, but at medium density only a few thousand sims would use the streetcars. Therefore I'm just going to keep using the high density avenues and not use any streetcars in this city. I'm going to plop a bridge here so that I don't have an intersection. Then I will continue this avenue down here. Now on both sides of this avenue I'm going to plop the stadiums, and that would be the Expo Center and the Pro Stadium. Now I do not wish to plop it directly on it, so I'm just going to see how far do I need the street to go parallel to the avenue. So that's about here. I want a straight street. There we go. And now the stadium will be turned onto the right side onto this street. Street can go and connect to the passenger train station, while on the other side I will plop the Expo Center by using the same trick. I will have a street parallel to the avenue. Now that I have plopped the street, I can plop the Expo Center on that street. Or maybe I can't. Damn it! Missed it by a hair's width. There we go, now I can plop it. Now that these two are plopped here, I need to use up the space up here. I can plop these attractions here, and seems they have just enough room to be plopped here, which is pretty much excellent. There we go, 4 attractions plopped. I don't really need a 5th. Now, as for the landmarks, like I said, I need the ones that have high tourist attraction. That would be the Arc de Triomphe, the Empire State Building, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Zemek Królewski's Warszawie, and the Statue of Liberty. I'm going to try and see which ones are the smallest and fit these areas the best. I'm pretty sure that this one is huge. Yep, and that's honestly too much space used. Statue of Liberty is much smaller and it will fit much better. The Arc de Triomphe is also a snug fit, and that leaves the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Now that would be all the attractions that I need to be plopped here. Now around these attractions I'm going to have commercial zones, which I expect to turn into hotels. Now that this is done, I need to plop the bus stations. I'm going to use 2 bus terminals. Now there isn't enough space up here, but that's okay, and I will plop them down here. Now, behind these hotels, I'm going to have my residential zones, and since not all of these commercial zones are going to become hotels, some of them are going to be shops, my residents will have places to shop. Now I do need to connect these 2 avenues with the rest of the city. This one I'm going to use this mountainside to connect down here with these 2. That way saving up as much space as possible for construction, because there is a lot of space that has been taken up by this mountainside here, or the cliffside, whatever you want to call it. There we go. I have used up the mountainside and not the flat ground where I could zone. Now I just need to finish connecting these ones. It is a good question, how exactly do I connect them? The best way that I have seen so far is a runabout. It seems to give the traffic the easiest way to flow around these different avenues. Now that this is connected, I just need to see about the rest of these roads. Plop the services, I mean the fire, the health, the police. Plop some schools. I'm going to use 2 grade schools and maybe 2 public libraries. I do want an airport in this city, so I need to plop it up here, is what I've been thinking about. Something like this. Now the airport does not bring in too many tourists, but it is a nice addition and I do have the space to spare, so I will plop it. I can upgrade it later on with a passenger terminal and a runway if I see the need for that. Down here, for the beginning, I will plop all the 3 ferry terminals, but turn 2 off and just use the first one for now. I'm going to use a bridge like this in order to save up the most of the space. Now, there is something that I've been trying to pull off, and it's getting these streets to go somehow up here. Now, I did manage to figure out one way of doing it. It goes something like this. And from here, they can go down here. It is a nice way of giving my Sims some alternate routes. I can also connect them through here and down here. This street needs to go up until about here and then go curved down here below this bridge. Ah, there we go. There we go. And that's another alternate route. Now these down here, I'm not going to connect directly to this avenue because I want them to use the runabout and not go straight into these streets. Now this is pretty much the entire road network here. I just need to finish up with this spot here. And there you have it. That would be the entire road network for this city. You have the 3 entrances that lead to the middle runabout. You have these tourist attractions in the middle, the 2 municipal bus stations next to them, also the 2 passenger train stations. The boats are where the water is down here, and through these 3 connections up here, these Sims can go from the ferry terminals up to the attractions. The municipal airport is up here, and it also leads into the part of the city where the attractions are. The zones are, as you can see, there is a whole bunch of commercial zoning right next to the attractions. And then around it you have residential. Now there is a lot of residential now, and I would have to start adding some more commercial for that residential. The last things that I need to add are the police, the fire stations, and the clinics. Also, let's not forget the grade school. Or two. And some libraries. Now, I will need some school bus stops. Whoops, I forgot to zone this part. Let's finish adding school bus stops. Now that all of this is covered, I will have to add some more buses. And I will need to see about the land value. Now, why do I need a lot of land value? Well, several reasons. If I leave it so much at low land value, I'm going to have a lot of low wealth workers, but this city will not require a lot of low wealth workers. Therefore, I can plop pretty much a whole bunch of parks and turn almost everything into medium and high wealth. Also, the tourists like it when your city has a lot of high land value. So let's see, where do I want my high wealth sims to live at. Let's say about here. That's a nice big area. Now let's cover the rest of it in medium land value. If this street is not wide enough for a park, it's most likely not going to be wide enough for medium density either. Yeah, why did this happen? I'm not quite sure. Well, there is a solution for that. Just bulldoze the street and leave the end open. Well, this looks pretty much covered in medium density. I may have even overdone it a little bit, because I kinda should have at least some of these sims living as low wealth. So I might want to bring back some of the lowland values. The schools will need some upgrades as well. And some more school buses. Police station, sure, why not? 2 more cop cars. And another 2. And now I should be pretty much done, except the parks and rides that I have forgotten to plop. Let's see, somewhere where I have a lot of sims who live here, about here, over here, over here, probably somewhere around here as well. I will plot bus stops here. Bus stop at the airport. Another parking right next to the other passenger train station. Another bus stop down here. One over here. Another one here. And this should be enough. Now, whether or not am I going to need a shuttle bus depot, I'm not entirely sure that I do need it, but I will plop it regardless, because I want as few of my sims driving and getting in the way of the tourists. Well, now I think I am done. I will just need to make sure to keep the Pro Stadium offline. The Expo Center is online, as are the landmarks, transportation, only one ferry terminal, and the airport is online as well. I can zone this for now, but if the airport expands, it is going to take over those zones. Well, time to get the ball rolling. Oh right, the town hall. I pretty much forgot about that. Should try and find a spot for it. Oh, there we go. Nice, out of the way. Perfect. Now I do not have a clinic down there, nor do I have a fire station up here. I will see if it becomes necessary. I can add them. Now, the tourist city is going to be called Peralonium, while the gambling city is going to be called Perafilozof. It is the two names that I received a long time ago, about 15 videos back, from my subscribers, and I will be using those two for these two cities. Let's see how's my balance sheet. I'm almost at 0. A few more sims need to move in and I won't be losing money. The transportation is pretty expensive, 5,000 simoleons. But once I hit full low density, I will have no issues with the money, and once I go up to medium density, I will have more than a nice income per hour. Let's schedule an event, motocross for now, only low wealth residents and tourists. Now about those tourists, let's see what's going on here. A nice way of keeping track of how many hotels do you need is by going into the gambling overview and watching this number here. If it's red, it's showing you that you could have more tourists coming in, but they're unable because you do not have hotels or enough transportation. And now I can see that I have 1000 tourists today. Yesterday I had 800, now I have 1600. Mostly low wealth and some medium wealth as well. Oh, here we go, some high wealth as well. That's nice. Let's see where they are at. They are at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Statue of Liberty, and the Arc de Triomphe. which is pretty much almost full with tourists, and hopefully the other landmarks are going to receive a lot of tourists. Here we go, 275, 246, and 160, 90, 300, 375. Awesome. Now, there are only a few of these landmarks that will take 375. I know for a fact that Statue of Liberty is one of them, and the St. Basil's Cathedral is another. I'm not sure which of these other ones also take 375. If you guys know, leave a comment, somebody will probably find this information useful. We are now up to 5,000 tourists, 4,200 low vault, 900 medium vault, and 100 high vault. I already have a few hotels popping up. Let's see what transportation mods are they using. We have 4,000 tourists using the buses, 3,500 using the trains, none of them using the boats, even the... yep, it's 0 for now, okay, and 140 using the municipal airport. Now, I'll be just running the export center events for quite some time, at least until I hit 60 to 100,000 tourists per day, and then I will turn on the Pro Stadium. Now, when I have mentioned the Pro Stadium, I should probably plop these signs. Now, I'm not entirely sure, do they bring in the extra tourists? But the two sandbox modes, cities that I played and plopped these led to there being over 60,000 tourists. So I am going to plop these two signs on both the Pro Stadium and the Expo Center. The Expo Center sign brings 1,200 per day of each class, while the Pro Stadium ones brings in 12,000 tourists per day of each class, or should I say each wealth level. Now let's see how much money are these things bringing in. The Leaning Tower of Pisa brought in 42,000 today, and it might even go up a little bit more. The Statue of Liberty brought in 52,000, and the Arc de Triomphe brought in 26. But we have just only started using them, and probably they're going to bring in even more cash. The Expo Center, as you saw, is full, and I'm going to have a profit of, if I see this correctly, 84,000 once the event is finished. So I'm already being positive in the city and not losing any more money. Let's see about their happiness. Yep, I have managed to satisfy pretty much everybody. The high vault could already go up to medium density. Town hall goes up to city hall because I'm already at 8,000 sims. The garbage and the recyclables are being picked up. No buildings are burning down. There are a few injured and 6 sims, and these guys down here that are injured don't seem to be getting picked up. So I will plop a clinic down here. This will lead to some more medium land value, but that is okay. The kids are being educated at a good number, not all of them, but that's probably just because not all of them moved in yesterday, but some of them moved in after the school day was done, so they are probably gonna go to school tomorrow, or should I say this morning. Let's schedule a new event. Again, I will go with motocross, and we can watch how many tourists we had. Yesterday we had 6,200. Let's see how many we are going to have today. Here's a nice hotel. This is, I think, medium density, medium wealth. Yep, medium density, medium wealth hotel, and here can take probably around 60 tourists at its maximum capacity. Over here it might be that another one is popping up. Now, what about those freight shipments? I have only 66 commuting from the region and almost 3000 of the commercials are unsatisfied. But that is why their taxes are so low, so that they won't care. And I can even drop these taxes a little bit more, so that they will care even less that they do not have any goods to sell, even though they do seem to have some of these goods, these merchandise, but that could be just the goods they sell to the tourists and not have any goods for the Sims. Now, how do Sims even manage to get satisfied by shopping goods that do not even exist? Don't ask me, ask Maxis. There we go. Today was finished, and how much did I earn? 97,000. Pretty cool. Considering that the event costs 15,000 to run and gets you almost 100,000, it's a pretty profitable thing. And how many tourists did I have yesterday? 6,800, so not a whole lot more than the day before. Have I made any new hotels? Yep, this one here was a high vault medium density hotel, and it has a lot of guests, almost its maximum capacity. How much money did these things make? The Leaning Tower of Pisa, 48,000 yesterday, Statue of Liberty 44, and the Arc de Triomphe 31. So pretty constant. Well, since I have pretty much built everything and everything looks stable, I think this is enough for this video. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more.